freezing is increasing popularity among younger women, and Dr. Drew Moffitt is here to talk more about why this is important to some women. And good morning, doctor. How are you?
Great, great.
So we were talking egg freezing, and let's explain what egg freezing is first before we get into why women are doing this more and more.
Right. So the idea is freezing an egg so it can be used in the future for different reasons. There's lots of different reasons why people might need it, but it's basically freezing an egg rather than like freezing an embryo or something.
So, and over at Arizona Reproductive Medical Specialists, you guys have been studying this. You've been making sure that you guys have all the right things in place for when women want to do this, correct?
Yeah, we've been doing it for quite a long time, and it turns out that egg freezing is the most difficult thing we do. It's very technician dependent, so even a variation in just seconds can determine whether that egg can become a baby or not. A lot of clinics who are starting this think that if they just freeze an egg and thaw it, if it survives the thaw, then everything's fine. But what we've learned is that you don't see the negative effects until much later, like 7, 8, 9 weeks of pregnancy or a live birth. So unless you're in an environment where you're freezing lots of eggs and then thawing them and transferring them, you're never going to know, how you're doing.
Yeah.
So
very important. That's why you guys have received awards for this, and that you guys have actually a good connection, a network of different places that do this. So that way you guys can talk and make sure that you guys are knowing what's happening with the future of the egg.
Right, so we're part of Donor Egg Bank USA, which is one of the largest and most successful egg banks in the United States. So what that means is we are constantly freezing eggs, but more importantly, our eggs are being thawed and used by people, and babies are actually occurring. And they have a very rigorous quality control process where they monitor what's happening and give you feedback. So we know that we're good at this, whereas if all you're doing is freezing eggs and then not doing it for 10 years later, you're never going to be able to know how you're doing.
Yeah. So. Why is this becoming popular among a lot of young women, a lot of career women, we could say?
Right. Well, unfortunately, what I spend most of my day doing is talking to women who are coming to me and already have a running out of egg problem. They're coming to me in their late 30s, early 40s. And the big thing they say is if somebody had only just told me about my biological clock, I would have made different choices. And the choices that people are doing now, they're informed, they're saying, hey, let's freeze eggs when I'm younger and the eggs are good, and then I can use them in the future. And so I just wish more people would do that so I could spend less time giving bad news to people.
And you're finding out that women they want to have families down the line, as you said, and they want to get them healthy. And so they want to work on their career, their school and everything. And that can be very stressful to the reproductive system for some women, and that's where you kind of like see that's why it's nice to get it now, get them frozen, and you guys take care of them and everything.
Yeah, and the good news is it's not really a difficult process. It's relatively short. There are details, but they're small details, and we can take you through it. So it's not this big thing,
Yeah, I know that's what everyone gets, when they hear about egg freezing, they start thinking of the sci-fi movies, they start thinking all this stuff, and it kind of like scares them off. But that's when you sit down with them, your team sits down, you walk through the whole process, don't you?
Right, yeah. I mean, it's basically, we need to give you some medicines so we can get more eggs at one time. One of the big myths is people think that because we're taking eggs, they have fewer eggs. But what happens is every month, a group of eggs start to grow, and you're going to lose those eggs, and you're losing eggs every month. So all we do is take eggs that you were going to lose anyway and save them for the future.
How long can you save eggs for?
Forever.
Can you? Wow.
Yeah.
So that's amazing, and that's where, and then I might ask, what's sometimes the rate of those eggs becoming children? I mean, is it pretty good?
So it is really good now. At Donor Egg Bank USA and at our clinic, our rates vary between 55 and 70%, which are really excellent. So, in the beginning of this, frankly, it was difficult, but we've learned, and now we're very good at it.
Wow, that is so great. So it's amazing. And it's not just about egg freezing. You talk to them about all different types of ways, of course, of reproductive, which is so important, and talking to both the men and the women. I know we have women topic here, but it's also good to have the men in there discussing their future of having children and stuff.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
It's great. tell them how they can get a hold of you, doctor.
Well, the easiest way is go to the website, arizonafertility.com. We have a great website there. Look for fertility preservation, and it's all explained there. All the prices are there, and so it's all good.
Yeah, that's great. Doctor, thanks for coming in. I love this. I get an education from every time he comes in about, of course, the future of having children and stuff. So,
Well, thanks for having me.
thank you. All right, stick around. We got more of the Arizona Daily Mix coming up right after this.